Have you ever gotten a psychic reading or a tarot reading in which you really enjoyed the reading, but the reader didn't see something that you wanted them to pick up on, and or after the reading, you had a circumstance that was not brought up in the reading? If that has happened to you, this is your video. Hi, my name is Sadie, and I wanted to come on and talk about this topic because as a reader, as a psychic, as an intuitive, I am seeing this more and more with my readings, with clients, with people that I've read for, and I think it's an important topic to discuss. So this is a spiritual talk. We are going to talk about why didn't the reader see it? So here is the interesting energy. First and foremost, I want to say one size does not fit all, so only take what resonates from this video. Some of it may resonate with you, some of it may not, and that's okay. Equally, I want to say this is my opinion, this is my experience, so your opinion and your experience may differ, and again, that's okay. But as someone who has been reading for people for the past probably 7 years, but I've been into tarot since I was 15. So I've been reading for myself since I was 15. I turned 44 in a month. So it's been a long time that I've been doing this type of work. And one thing that I'm seeing more and more is people are really diving deep, really opening up their spiritual gifts. They're really growing and expanding on their own spiritual journeys, but there's certain topics that we're just not allowed to get more information on. And so I wanted to talk about that today. So my guides have told me when it comes to like tarot, or when it comes to like you reading energy, right? Think of it as taking a Polaroid picture of that moment. So I'm going to use the Temperance card as an example. Say I took a Polaroid picture of this card, and then I'm looking at the card and I'm sort of reading the energy of the card, picking up different symbolism, explaining what I'm seeing, but I am the person who's just taking the snapshot of the energy and explaining to you what I'm picking up from it. You are the person who's actually in the experience. If you're getting a reading, it's because there's a topic that you want to know more about, there's information that you feel like you need, there's guidance that you feel like you need, there's a decision that you need help making. So you're actually in the experience, okay? And so if I'm just doing a snapshot and reading the current energy as it is, as it stands in this picture, I'm picking up on all different types of things. Sometimes my guides or your spirit guides are asking me to hone in on one specific thing that's going to give you the most benefit or give you the best guidance from the reading. However, because it is your life and it is your experience, we all have free will and we all have fated events that are meant to happen for us. What I typically see as a reader is if there is a fated event that is meant to happen, that's gonna show, that's gonna come up. Like the big stuff usually comes up. The stuff sort of that's subtle underneath the surface at times will come up as well, because it's something that it's like it needs to come into your awareness so that you understand why things are a certain way or why you're going through a certain experience. But the fated events are going to show up. So pregnancies, births, marriages, deaths come up a lot. Although ethically, it's not my place to tell someone like that someone's going to pass away. I just may warn that there's an energy around it and that it's a possibility, but I can't ethically give like times and dates. It's just not ethical for me to do that, because what happens is that I'm implanting that in your energy, and you could manifest and create just based upon what I said to you. So I don't give times and dates of things like that. But if I see the energy, I will read it and just kind of say, hey, this is a potential, pay attention to this. Or I've definitely given warnings to people like, don't have surgery on this date, or be careful when you're driving. It does come up, so I will bring that up. But when we don't, or I don't see something, there's specifically 2 reasons why. Number 1, going back to the temperance card, and like we're going to use temperance as free will, right? In the current energy, this angel is pouring water into 1 cup and standing with 1 foot on the shore and 1 foot in the lake, and just sort of in this peaceful energy, right? But if they decided to throw the cups in the lake and go in a different direction, I might not necessarily see that. That's where free will comes in. We live a life, and again, this is just my opinion, where we come to Earth School to learn certain lessons, to have certain experiences. We will do soul contracts with certain people, like our parents and others who come into our life, who are meant to play a significant role to help us on Earth School with these lessons, with these experiences, right? But we still do have free will, even though there are fated experiences, things that we cannot change. There are things that we do influence through our choices, through our decisions, through the energy that we're putting out, through our actions. And so if you are getting a reading and the reader is like, yeah, this relationship looks like it's going great, and I see a future with you guys, blah, 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 and then 2 days later, your ex-boyfriend contacts you and wants to meet up, and you decide to meet up with them, and one thing leads to another, and then the new person finds out, and then you break up. You made a free will choice to shift the energy and go in a different direction. So I may not necessarily pick that up. Okay. I'm not necessarily going to pick up every single free will choice that you make. And a lot of times the free will choices that we make do sort of change our timeline, or change when certain things are going to happen, or how certain things happen. So free will absolutely does influence the larger aspect of fate. It's like the micro energy is the free will and the macro energy is fate. But if you're making a free will choice that sort of shifts your timeline, I'm not necessarily going to see that. Equally, the thing with free will as well is that it is energetically, how I pick it up and how I see it is that it's dictated by 2 specific elements. The first being intent. What you intend, what you really want, right? That's intention. What if I do this, what do I want to get from it, right? And then the second element of free will is consent. What you are consenting to, what you are allowing, what you are choosing, because it is in the choice of free will and then making a decision and taking action that actually creates portals or timelines for you. So if your intent is to do something in a way that maybe is very selfish and harms others because you just want what you want and you don't care who you're hurting, and then you consent to taking certain actions that put you in a position where you've done that, there's, you could say, karma, there's cause and effect, there's action has consequence. It's like it's part of duality. There's an action and then there's a consequence. There's life and then there's death. There's joy and then there's pain. Like, everything in this earth school is a dualistic experience because duality is simultaneous. It just depends on like your decisions and your choices and where you are sort of at on the wheel of fortune, if you're up or if you're down. But at any given moment, you could be up. It's sometimes your turn to be up. It's sometimes like the culmination of all your choices are putting you in this beautiful position, but equally sometimes it's your turn to be down. It's your turn to go through whatever lessons and whatever sort of circumstances you need to go through for your highest learning. 1111 as I'm saying that. So if your free will choice post reading changes the energy that I was picking up on, that's going to change your timeline. It's going to change your outcome. It's going to change the energy. It's going to change the circumstances. Okay. Here's the second part of this: fate. Things that are like fated, even though I can see them, sometimes I'm not meant to give you like all the details. Part of soul contracts specifically is that you are taking certain steps to go through the journey of getting from one place to the other. So even if I can see the fated event, I may not be able to see the timing or the details around that, because it's truly about you taking that soul journey, you walking that path. Okay. And if you're thinking about Earth like a school that your soul incarnates into to learn lessons and have experiences, sometimes we're given open book tests where we're very much aware of the questions that are going to be on the test. We're allowed to use our book. We're allowed to Google. We're allowed to use our phones. We're allowed to do certain like research during the time to take the test. But other times in life, it's like a closed book test. You're not allowed to know all the details. You're not allowed to have all the information up front. You're just meant to experience it and then learn afterwards and see how well you did. So when it's certain situations like that, like soul contracts in which really you are meant to go through a certain experience, go through a certain journey, again, I can pick up the big stuff, but I won't always be able to pick up the details or the timing of it, because your soul has chosen a specific path or a specific sort of set of markers and set of circumstances along the way to get you from here to here. Okay. The other thing I want to say too is that sometimes we, the reader, can't pick up on something for protection purposes. So if I'm being asked to tap into something that energetically is not for my highest good, or that violates any sort of spiritual laws, I'm going to be blocked from picking up on that. Equally, sometimes it's not your time to know something. Even if you went through an experience, you may not be allowed to know all of the details or know certain aspects of the experience. And therefore, a reader is not going to be able to pick up on that for you. Not everything can be knowable. there are things that actually need to be unknown. There are things in this cosmic energy, in the infinite intelligence that is God, that is source, that is the universe that we all live and exist in. There is the great mystery. The great mystery does exist. And there are things that are meant to sort of be off limits for our highest good. And so when circumstances like that come up, I will usually tell someone like, hey, I can't delve into this, but we can sort of look around it or look over here. And it does happen. It does come up. The other thing too that I have experienced is that some people, so for my protection, your protection, but some people have, I almost want to call it like a veil around them, or a spiritual cloaking around them. That sometimes is not about protecting their energy, but protecting, how do I want to say this? Protecting the entity or energy that's around them, that's harvesting off of them, that's trying to influence them. So sometimes we have attachments that we're not aware of, and those attachments can sort of block us from being able to be read because they don't want to be seen. So that is also a potential and possibility when you're having a reading done and there's things that aren't coming up in the reading, but then after the reading, you experience certain things and you're wondering why. Why didn't it show up in the reading? Why didn't it come up in the reading? That is also another aspect that comes through. And I say this because sometimes we are not aware of what's around us. This is why it's so important to cleanse and protect your energy. Like, protect your energy before you get a reading, cleanse your energy after you get a reading. I cleanse and protect before I do a reading. I cleanse and protect after I do a reading. It's just very important because in the ethereal world, in the energetics, because everything is energetic, there's a lot of things floating around. There's a lot of psychic debris. There's a lot of stuff that if we're feeling low, if we're feeling fearful, if we're feeling depressed, if we're angry, that will just attach to us, especially if our auric field is open in any way due to like alcohol, certain substances, or certain things that we're involved in or that we're participating in that are not for our highest good, that can really open up our auric field to attachments. And so again, just so important to keep your energy cleansed, keep yourself cleansed, use sage, Palo Santo, whatever you can use to cleanse your energy, even just like salt baths. So cleansing, so healing, takes off anything that's not yours. Of course, I use crystals. I always have my amethyst, black obsidian, black tourmaline, just anything that sort of keeps my energy grounded and balanced to do this work. But equally, if you're someone who is growing spiritually, is someone who is opening up to their own spiritual gifts, you should be cleansing your energy consistently and protecting your energy consistently. so that you're getting the highest experience from a reading, but equally so that nothing can attach or pull on your energy or harvest your energy in any way. All right, that's the best way that I can say that. So here's the thing. We have the issue. Let's talk about solutions. Number one, first and foremost, prayer. If you really need to know something beyond reading, beyond tarot cards, beyond any divination tools, sit down and pray. Prayer will bring you guidance. Prayer will bring you answers. Prayer will bring you insight. Prayer will give you the information that it is spiritually acceptable for you to know. So if there's anything that's concerning you, pray about it. If there's anything that you feel like, hey, give me a heads up, guides, give me a heads up, spirit, what do I need to know, what's coming in, pray about it, okay? Because prayer is your direct connection to the divine. It is almost one of the most important spiritual practices that anybody can do. You don't need to be religious to pray. You don't have to pray a certain way. When I started really getting in tune with my intuition and like really opening up my spiritual gifts, I would free write. I would just write down prayers and free write and then like get answers and sort of spontaneous answers as a result of the prayers. And it was like a conversation, kind of like that book, Conversations with God. Like I would literally just have like a conversation. My prayer would be sort of like conversation form, and then I would just get answers to prayers. The more I got comfortable in just trusting and listening to the guidance that I was being given, okay? So pray. If you need to know something, pray, 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 pray. Cannot stress that enough. Secondly, too, how do I want to say this? Not so much that there's back doors, but if you're sort of directly trying to get information about something and you're not able to get it in a direct way, do it in an indirect way. You can even ask like your own guidance or pray about like, okay, I want information about this specific topic. I'm not being given information about the details. Spirit, guides, angels, what's the best questions I should be asking that can give me more insight into this situation? And you will get that answer. You will get that information. So again, it's just like, you have so much power. Trust that. Believe in yourself. Believe in your ability to receive guidance. Accept that not everything's going to be knowable. And also just continue to cleanse and clear your energy and protect your energy on a daily basis, so that if you are doing spiritual work, if you are getting readings, you're getting the most benefit out of it. That it's empowering you to make choices and decisions that lead you to your highest timeline, lead you to everything that you want and desire in your life, and that you're not being put in any disempowered spaces. I'm sitting here trying to like see if there's anything else I'm meant to bring through in this video, because I understand like as a reader how disappointing it is to like, you want information about something and you can't get it. I totally understand that. I also understand too that a lot of times we're given guidance, okay, and we don't listen to it. Things don't go the way we wanted it to go, and then we want someone to blame, like a reader. And that's happened to me multiple times. That's part of the gig. It's part of this work. Like, I accept it. I don't take it personally because I understand that that's that person's path and journey. And if I'm not good for your path and journey, it's important for you to be honest with yourself, recognize that, and then take your energy and find someone that is more resonant with you. That's the thing too, is that sometimes the energy just isn't resonant. It's not a good match. Just like if you go to certain doctors and like you vibe with some, and then other doctors are just like, oh, I don't like this doctor, I don't like this office, I need to find another practitioner. That's the same. It's the same with anything in life. You know, there's teachers that you're gonna vibe with, that you're gonna love. There's teachers you're not gonna like. There's readers that you're gonna love. There's readers you're not gonna like, or not gonna feel like you resonate with. That is okay. But the whole purpose of what I'm here to do is to empower you, is to get you to maybe see things from a higher perspective or a broader perspective, to understand that you have choices and options, to choose from your heart and your soul. Because when you're choosing with the intent, when the intent is from that space, high vibration, high energy, you're gonna have a better outcome. It's something my guides have always told me. The higher the vibration, the better the outcome. So you have a lot of control. You have a lot of power. Step into it, utilize it in the best way for you. And really just understand, like, it's okay not to know. Sometimes it's just not the time to know. Like, certain series of events haven't happened yet for you to have the information, for you to know everything. That doesn't mean you're not gonna ever know. It just, sometimes it's just not the time to know. So that's really what I wanted to talk about today. I hope this helped whoever needed to hear it. I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you soon. Take care.